YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list of the Meta Weekly, the day of the new pack, and wow, we have Mermail against Punk. 2 new decks, not just in the top 16, but in the top 8, playing against each other. I would say ideally they're not playing against each other, because now inevitably one will now be knocked out. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos. Let's go.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Start this off with a Unicorn searching our deck. We could hit them with a Droll and Lockbird, but then the Unicorn's going to be looking at our extra deck. We're going to finger negate the Droll, but with double Droll, we could use both in the same chain. What are our forms of Whoa! Droll and Ash, and we still have negate anything plus negate a monster effect. This is what I'm talking about, playing Droll in your own Punk deck. Similarly to Snake Eye Fiendsmith, you could Droll yourself and you're still going to be making great plays. Normal summon Abyss Pike to discard the Poseidra, searching for the Minstrel. Gonna get hit by the Droll and Lockbird. We're now gonna use the Abyss Shrine to... Ooh, this hurts so bad. What went wrong? What went wrong is that Psychic did not have another water monster in the hand. Had we had any water monster in the hand, we could have used Minstrel to look at the hand and get rid of the Ash Blossom, and then this would have not happened. Or I guess potentially maybe we should have tried to bait the Ash with 1-for-1, or is 1-for-1 going to be valued as more important than the Abyss Shrine here? Let's find out. Negate the Abyss Shrine from grabbing a level 7 monster and summoning it onto the field or adding it to the hand. Ooh. Ooh, Jesus. That ended us. And we just have Max C, and they have a cross-out designate for the Max C. What do we summon with 1-for-1? That was not worth summoning. I'm curious. What's the level 1? I don't what is it? Maxi, cross out designate, negate. And under Droll, the 1-for-1's no good. Okay. Well, I guess maybe that's even more reason to they don't know that, right? Just try to eat their Ash with it, right? Ooh, with the sword into the surrender. Really unfortunate for Mermail. Psychic's a top tier player. He 2-0'd, then got 2-0'd. I hope to see more from Psychic. I'm a big fan of Mermail. So let's hop into another match. As I said, it was inevitable. We have 2 spicy cool decks, and only one can prevail and move forward. Into the top 4 we go with Punk. Fiendsmith tracked is going to get hit with the Purge. Negate. Now, when would Purge not be activatable? If you had a Lubellion discarding itself to search, then you would not be able to Purge. There has to be a card on the field. And just like that, through a non-negated Purge, a non-negated Veiler, double Disruption, and we have how much ourselves? We have 2 monster negates, 2 monster banishes, negate anything on the field, plus Promethean Princess Engraved, pop a monster on special summon, plus Maxi. 6 Disruption after 2 hand traps. This is why you gotta just Fool Lost them. Roar onto the field from the deck without getting Maiden Engraved first. As we are summoning that Blue Eyes White Dragon, sure. Or we have Drill Beam activatable now if we want to make any other play. So if we were to activate Maiden, which the Apollo would negate, we can now negate the negate mate. But then Desiree can negate the negate, negating the negate. So you would want the Desiree to negate the wishes, which it didn't mate. What now? We're trying to bait. It ain't working, mate. Sage on summon, Apollo negate, Drill Beam negate, then Desiree negate. So we can't, we hold on to the Drill Beam. Okay, Flame Burst is going to summon the Masquerena from the back row before you use Wishes to equip onto the Blue Eyes White Dragon. We're going to now use the Drill Beam to then now Desiree negate. As on top of this, we still have our ability to go into Promethean. We have Little Knight banishing on field, Apollo negating another monster. Blue Eyes got completely clapped. And I do want to say that I've been playing a lot of TCG Simulator where Melissa and Ryzeal are available and both hit by the ban list. Blue Eyes is at full power over there, and it's in the current meta, it's not even considered a good deck. And when I've been playing against Blue Eyes myself, as I'm playing with Mitsurugi or Ryzeal or Meliss, I feel it. I'm like, wow, Blue Eyes kind of sucks. What's going on? It's at full power here, and it just gets power crept. So that might be happening soon in Master Duel, is what I'm trying to warn you. Lordy, load it up. Grab that barrel from the deck. Barrel on summon. Set up the drill beam. Looks like we are saving the Imperm for the Link 1. You have Drill Beam negate anything and banish it, plus Majesty pop up to 2 cards on the field, plus double Spirit Dragon negate and or disruption. 4 to play through. Ash on summon, searching for that Poplar. Poplar activating when added to the hand, summon itself onto the field, search our deck for the Divine Temple. We're holding. All our disruption, hold. Activate the Senjin, chain the Majesty, pop not 1 but 2 cards on the field, taking out the Senjin summon and stopping its search, plus wiping away the Ash effect of summoning from the deck. Triple disruption left. We have Diablo Star sending the Poplar, as we're going to chain link block the Poplar from being negated by the Spirit Dragon. Normally, you use Poplar to chain link block Diablo Star from, let's say, an Apollo USA, but in this instance, this is the way. You really got to think about these plays. The chain link blocks are very important. Set the Wanted Seeker, which we now know they have Original Sinful in the hand. So we are going to turn the Spirit Dragon into our Ultimate Spirit. We know that's in the hand, right? They set Wanted Seeker. It's got to be there, right? Did we even search it with Poplar? I forget. Original Sinful, send the Poplar into the Drill Beam negate. So we got all our bases covered, mate. We're fine. And we still have the other Spirit Dragon, which could go into a Crimson, into a Cipher to negate a monster effect, which we're doing right now. You need your toggle on for this play. Otherwise, it's not possible. They would fire off the Engraver, and we're likely going to just negate the Engraver. With even better than a Cipher, we have the Cosmic Blazar, but it does not protect the Ultimate Spirit, unfortunately. Thus, we reborn the Spirit Dragon. And this is where we have a duel that makes Snake Eyes look really bad. Blue Eyes now looks like the broken deck. It's almost like whoever goes first is going to be looking nuts. Let's speed this up, because we all know where this is heading. The Blazar, able to negate anything, Baron to floor, negate anything, pop a card in the field. Let's hop into game 3. Let's go. Senjin into the back row, activate to search, as we're not going to be using Purge on the Summon and Search. I feel like that's a pretty good Purge. What is this? We have negate anything, plus use it with Masquerena to send anything, to then negate 3 monsters, to then banish 2 monsters, to then negate 2 special summons, to then finger your maiden, and then, wow, we have Promethean Princess for 11. If we count Call by the Grave as a disruption, this is 11 disruptions after getting purged. Why, Konami, why? My toe's up, you can't see it. We're gonna grab a Drill Beam. We're gonna be special summoning a Blue Eyes, which means our special summon monsters cannot activate, including the Typhon, which already can't activate because we used Purge. Desiree is going to negate, so now my Flame Burst can be used to summon Masquerena in the battle phase, though. It's the battle phase. All right, from 11 disruption, we now went down to 10, down to 7, down to 6. 6 disruption, Call by the Grave, finger the maiden. Nicely done. 6 disruption, 4 cards in hand. We have a dead Drill Beam. It's no good. We have Majesty, which is not dead. Unless the Little Knight were to have banished the engraved Blue Eyes White Dragon. Oh, wait, it's already banished? What happened in the Blue Eyes? It's under Typhon. What the? Get it out of there. You can't even activate. That's why. Oh, no. We can't even Majesty because Blue Eyes is stuck under Typhon. Can't be used. Purge stopped it, so did the load. It was double stopped from even activating. Snake-Eyed Diablo Star equip. Drill Beam dead, Majesty dead. Now Majesty can be used. Perfect, but the Desiree can now negate it. All right, Majesty, Call by the Grave, finger the Blue Eyes White Dragon, as you now have nothing to reveal. Thus, the Majesty is no good. Yep. All right, got him. Didn't even have to Desiree. Nicely done. Lethal damage. Was any mistakes made? What happened? Why did we get dominated so hard after purging? Aluber unsummoned, searching for the Branded High Spirits, and a lot of people are now thinking, what? You're supposed to search Branded Fusion, especially when you have Branded Loss, which doesn't protect you from an Ash Blossom. Well, that's because Abamod is on a higher plane of thinking where he's always assuming they have Ash until proven otherwise, to then always play around that suspected Ash. The Lost will give us access to a Mercurier, potentially, and we don't have another Rinbrum, so reborning the Engraved Albaz is going to be much more difficult. We have pop a card with the Board Load. We have Mirror Jade, non-target monster banish, and then the Board Load could pop the Mirror Jade to pop a card in the field to then use Banishment to reborn the Mirror Jade to then non-target monster banish again. The Banishment could also fuse with their field into a form of Disruption, and we have Nibiru. This is about 7 disruption, but remember, Branded is highly conditional on its disruptions. It's going to be up to 7. Rebellion, searching for the Magna Hut. Ainsmith Tract, searching for Lurie, to then reborn that Lurie onto the field. Sure. We're going to Grand Granule in response to a monster, summoning a monster to summon a Quem, which could then now summon Albaz to fuse with their fields. So we're up to 9 disruption now. It just jumped. Non-target monster banish to the Lurie. Mirror Jade pop the Dippity, as I was saying. Magna Hut attempt to banish when we know it's public knowledge that they have a banishment to reborn that Mirror Jade, which we don't have a monster to fuse with, so that disruption's now gone. Sure. And yeah. The plays, the ways, that was great. Good job, well done. Let's keep on going. Ooh, we are not a Blue Eyes deck, but we are a Primite. We also have Fiendsmith. We're Fiendsmith, Primite, and Bestial. Chain the Maxi, Dippity Turbo, but then they're playing with the Proudest One instead. Chain the Ash, negate the Maxi. Mate, I don't think so. Let's go. Thank you for the free draw as the barrel sets up the Drill Beam. This is the win condition of the deck. Continually recycle Drill Beam, continually draw with Regained, back to back to back until your opponent gives up. But Branded is really good at grinding. So we have the new grind deck versus the old grind deck. Who is the true grinder here? Let's go. Where'd that Ash come from? Did you randomly draw that off of the Regained? I don't get it. I swear you didn't have that. What? Princess Quip randomly drew it. The Princess and the Regain, just random draws. Albaz swinging into the Dippity, and he's like, heck, wait, why is it not dead? Well, the roar. It says the monster can't be destroyed by battle, and also it's another form of disruption, which we actually can't use. As we now, in the battle phase, go into the Mirror Jade, triggering the Regained, return back onto the field our Magna Hut, search for a dragon in the end phase. Also, the barrel can't be destroyed by battle because of the Primite Roar being crazy. Let's return the Dippity back into the deck we go, draw a card here. And now, grass looking green after triggering Regain, which could have given them the much needed Ash, but we know that's not the case. We're kind of screwed either way. Well, actually, we really did need that to resolve, but we know the Drill Beam also would have been able to banish it. It's just a checkmate situation. They got Drill Beam, which is probably activatable, but guaranteed activatable Dippity. We get rid of Dippity, so Drill Beam's not activatable, but it's still activatable because they have random cards in the hand that we don't know of, but then they have Ash by banishing the Dippity. Let's hop into game 3. Quem, send from the deck the Branded Retribution. We're going to discard the Lost from our hand to summon our Albion to go straight into an Anaconda play. And Zeus is like, bro, I got Ash for your Branded Fusion. What are you doing? Well, I'm playing around your Ash. You can't Ash the Anaconda. Even though we're copying an effect that is an ashable effect, you still can't Ash because my effect is not the effect. It's the effect to copy an effect. Thus, you can't Ash. Let's search for Mercourier. We have a Mirror Jade, and that's how you play around Ash. Just go straight for Anaconda. Now, someone may be thinking, oh, just do Branded Fusion first. Well, not only is Branded Fusion now not in your deck to use Anaconda with, you now can't summon Anaconda the turn you activate Branded Fusion. We have the Serenir banishing from the Albaz from the grave here. Now, Mercourier plus the Mirror Jade for the non-target monster banish and a negate. And we ideally had the Albaz still engraved to then fuse with their field into another form of disruption. So about 2 disruptions have just been knocked off from that single Bestial. Load, searching for the Drill Beam, which is activatable. Ooh, that hurts. We're going to target the Mirror Jade. We're going to be sending the Rinbrum with no Albaz to Reborn. So we use up our non-target monster banish. We lose our Mirror Jade, which we then lose our use of the Mercourier. 0. Nada. Nothing left. That Albaz banish and the Mirror Jade banish slaughtered us. But you are a control deck, so you should not be able to one-turn kill us, right? Reborning the Albion Dragon here is, it's kind of whatever. Sure. It's not as good as an actual Albaz. We're going to load, summon the Dippity. Dippity into the Requiem, which cannot activate because that'd be cheating. Can't activate Special Summon Monster for the rest of the turn. Wipe out the Albion, but because of Lacrima Crimson Tears, the Requiem on field is considered disruption here if it didn't get wiped away by the Mirror Jade. As, yep, okay. Let's Primite Roar at the start of the opponent's turn to make the Drill Beam activatable, plus the Ash activatable, plus the Nibiru, plus the Baldrake. Yep, 4 disruption. Maybe 5, depending on how we Nibiru and Baldrake to then get the secondary effect of the Baldrake, tributing off Nibiru to banish a monster summon for the extra deck. Let's Spring and Kit on summon, search our graveyard, banish our deck, then return a card back into the deck. Goodbye to the Mercourier. Cartesia is going to be activating here. Now, the Branded Lost states that the activation of your cards cannot be negated. This is negating the card, so obviously it does not work. Bunish. And we're now at triple disruption left. Branded Fusion, Ash Blossom, negate. It's like the point of Branded Lost is to protect your ability to fusion summon. I attempted to fusion summon twice, and both times my Branded Lost is not protecting me. Thus, we're just ending our turn. And now we have the endlessly recycled barrel to endlessly recycle our Drill Beam. And as if that were not enough, they're still making other great plays in addition to that. The fact that Zeus initially with this type of deck was choosing to go second, now wants to go first. The control deck just became a lot more aggressive, a lot better. Got the Bestials, you got the Primite, you got the Fiendsmith, and I don't think it's worth playing the Kashtira cards, right? We don't really have room for that. I'd rather play more hand traps. Let's banish away the Albaz, search for a dragon during the end phase, say goodbye to the kits. And why is that barrel so big? Lethal damage. Oh my, Mermail. Oh, not Mermail, but Memento. People talking about Mermail in the chat. We have load searching for the barrel on summon, setting up into the back row our drill beam, as the load will now be activating, being ogreable, as he summons a white Dustin instead of a Dippity from the deck here. End the turn with a Requiem, and what now? We could Requiem into Lacrima, which could then be a disruption on special summon to send a card from the field to the graveyard. We have Drill Beam to negate and banish a card. We have Veiler to negate a monster. We have Ogre pop in response. So we got Quadra Disrupt to play through. I would say Memento's really good at playing through hand traps. We have Ogre popping the Memento Horse, which I think is a great use of the Ogre, actually. We're going to Drill Beam, negate and banish the Bone Party. We could chain Memento Fusion, right? We did not. We didn't want the newly summoned Memento Fusion to get popped by the horse. Why not? I feel like maybe that was the correct play, possibly. All right. Lacrima is here, sent from the deck. The Fiendsmith in Paradise. Darkblade is going to be popping itself, summoned for the deck. The Anguish activating. To then, in response, we're going to be activating our Fiendsmith in Paradise. It's going to send Desiree, return back the Requiem, or the Lacrima is on field, so we can't return that. Let's get sending, as we now have left just an Effect Veiler. Before the Anguish gets sent to the graveyard, it is a targeting disruption. We're going to fuse with the Graven Field into our Creation King. Creation King on summon will activate to send up to 3-0 because it just got negated. Negate. We already used up our normal summon, so the Lacrima Crimson Tear in hand is no good. The Memento Fusion could pop the Creation King to search our deck for something if we want to. That's exactly what we're going to do after Battle Phase, wiping away their Lacrima. Bone Party, which is already activated this turn. We have the Creation King searching for the Memento Field spell. We don't have enough bodies engraved to summon the Combined Creation, so we're ending on just a Bone Party. Is this any form of disruption? We have Ogre, Bone Party, summon from the deck. I don't think this is actually anything. I guess we summon Sleepy, but then we don't even have enough monsters to go. Yeah, this is no good. Lubellion, searching for Magna Hut, Drill Beam, Recycle, because we have Barrel on field. Magna Hut banishing the Anguish. We have Magna Hut re-summoning the Lubellion onto the field by getting the Magna Hut engraved. Lubellion setting up into the back row are regained. Now Moon of the Closed Heaven, we'll speed this up. Moon into the Requiem. Requiem summoned from the deck into our Engraver. Load searching for a Barrel. Barrel on summon, set a Primate Roar. It's a quick play, so it can't be used. We're going to a Sequence. Sequence is going to be fusing the Graveyard into a Lacrima. Lacrima on summon is going to reborn the Engraver. And now, we're going to Bone Party pop the Combined Creation to summon the Anguish, trigger the Anguish to search our deck for a Memento card. That Memento card will be the Sleepy. Sleepy could go into the Twin Dragon Fusion, not the Creation, so we can't get popping. Here we go. Twin Dragon is here. Still have the Ogre as our main form of disruption. Pop the Twin, search for an Anguish plus a Horse. Not going to do anything during the opponent's turn. Twin and the field spell will be triggering. We cannot reborn the Combined Creation, unfortunately, as Sleepy is back in the field, but already activated a Fuse, and we have an Anguish with no effect. Sleepy sent from the deck to the grave, and Acheron. Acheron will summon during the battle phase. While we don't have any forms of disruption, we have a lot of protecting us from getting lethal. Nicely done. We still have that Ogre. What do we plan on using Ogre onto? Uh-oh. Wallow is here. Wallow is going to be targeting the Combined Creation just to return it back into the deck, as we now further go into a Little Knight. Little Knight banishing Combined Creation, I think, would have been potentially better, but then the Acheron could have recycled it back. So, you know, this does make sense. Return Combined, banish the Acheron, so the banished cards stay banished. As we now also have the Caesar. This is a very powerful deck. Oh my goodness. Fiendsmith Control is here, and it is super top tier. The Ogre was never even used. Primate Roar, Little D was select. Nicky Boy, I think that might be a DQ. We're going to look into that. Ghost Ogre chained to the Branded Regained as the Little Knight chain banished itself plus the Twin Horn Dragon. We also have the Caesar for double special summon negate plus the Drill Beam mate. What else we have from here? Anguish on summon activating. Primate Roar is our another form of disruption. By targeting the side frame driver, we're going to be banishing the Anguish. Banish. As we still search for a combined creation, which looks to be activatable to summon, we're going to negate and destroy the horse. That's way too much. Oh my Jesus. Anguish on summon, searching for the horse. Horse is here. We're going to attempt to pop the horse to send up to 3 cards in the deck to the grave. What did we accomplish? Accomplished quite a lot. We can use the Bone Party to summon a Horned Dragon to then pop it with the Creation King to pop more cards in the field potentially, or pop it through some other way. So it's kind of a pseudo second disruption, maybe. The Creation King is definitely a disruption. We have triple monster negate with the Apollo USA. We have Mace take control of a monster. We have Ash negate. We have the Memento fusion into a Guardian Chimera. It's like 7 to 8 forms of disruption. We'll just call it 8. Mace, take control of the Lurie. Creation King. Nope. Okay. We'll never know. Barrel setting up that load. With that big load, we're going to be searching for our Drill Beam. Of course, we have no hand traps in sight. Our deck is 44 cards. I guess that kind of decreases our chance unless the extra cards are extra hand traps, if you want to use that logic. Let's now talk about this field. We have double special summon negate. We have banish a special summon monster from the extra deck through the Baldrake. We have negate and banish anything with the Drill Beam. We have Druid Swarm, which could banish from the graveyard. And if Baldrake tributes off the Druid Swarm, it will further send another monster on the field to the graveyard. The ceiling is 6 disruptions unless there is a Primate Roar in the graveyard. So that is an additional on normal summon, banish the monster normal summon if it's lower than 2,500, which it will be. So that's 7. The ceiling is 7 against 6 cards in hand. Let's go. Anguish is going to get banished, but she's still activating, but you still want her on the field because she has the second effect of reborning a Mace from the grave off of the horse. So this is not so good, but we're going to use Bone Party to play around that. And then we're going to use the Caesar to negate. So we used up a negate and a roar mate, and then we're going to negate again. Just like that. Negate the Memento fusion, negate the Bone Party. And from our 7 disruption, we're now down to 4 after we have used 3 and say goodbye to the Anguish. Lacrima wants to be normal summoned here. So the question I had earlier is, how much Lacrima do I want? Well, we don't want Lacrima in our hand. It's not an engraver that could discard, and it competes with a normal summon. So if your deck uses up a normal summon through other means, more than one Lacrima is a brick, and just the one here is a brick. We have 2 bricks in our hand. At the horse. Let's regain, return back the Anguish, draw into another hand trap. I could assure you it's gonna happen. Yeah, nope, wow, okay. A deck full of hand traps and we didn't draw one. Tatsunogo is gonna summon and we're gonna Drill Beam banish it before it even activates. Oh my Jesus. We had Druid Swarm banish, Druid Swarm effect, Baldrake banish. Damn, no one saw this coming. Begin. Fiendsmith control versus Fiendsmith control. We have Barrel on summon setting a load from the deck. Load is going to be searching our deck for a Drill Beam. Our only form of responses will be the Baldrake and or Ash, which we've been holding on to both. Could have Ashed the load. We could have Ashed the tract. We're going to Baldrake banish the Lurie. Be gone. Now, with our Ash, what were we saving it for? Drill Beam's going to banish the Baldrake, then recycle it because we have a Barrel still on the field. If you're a Blue Eyes player, you want to consider discarding the Drill Beam to then reset it if you still have Barrel on the field. Let's now, in response to the Lordy Load summoning from the deck, that is what we're going to negate. Did not negate the search, but the summon instead. All right, we have a Dippity on summon getting hit with that Maxi. Lordy Load is here on activation, search our deck, and we do not want the Drill Beam to get Drill Beam, so we're going to Drill Beam the search for the Drill Beam, then the Lordy Load in hand is now dead. It cannot be activated. Even the second effect cannot be used. Requiem it up under Maxi. This is newly a good play. Before you would not want to do this, but because the Requiem on field is a form of disruption. It could summon the Lacrima Crimson Tear, send a Paradise. So we have Valor plus Paradise for double disruption. Drill Beam recycling itself onto the field, setting instead of going to the hand, which is, holy moly, could you imagine? We don't want Barrel to grab another load, which could search for a Drill Beam to be usable right away, or a Primate Roar, so there goes our Valor play. Requiem only activatable in the main phase, so they were likely saying, hey, I want to end the main phase. Well, I got to summon Lacrima as the Ash negates the Requiem form of disruption. No Paradise play for you. You could even possibly, instead of sending Paradise, choose to send Engraver to value the follow-up more so than the Paradise play. They have an activatable Drill Beam. They have a Erratic Seal to non-target spin a face-up card back. They have Nibiru, which I think is going to be dead in this matchup, plus Maxi. So double disruption. Magna Hut. As we Lordy Load it up, spin it back to the hand. Again, the second effect can't be used. Now, by banishing the Heavenly Spheres in response to it activating means it will not trigger to summon a monster from the deck, which is quite interesting because if the Erratic Seal were banished on activation, it still activates while banished. But if it is sent to the grave, then banished, it will not activate. Let's see. Does this deck have an increased chance to open up Barrel or something? I don't understand. Search for the Drill Beam. Engraver plays now begin. Grab the Tract. Grab the Lurie. Lurie is banishable with the Bestial when normally it isn't because there would not be a monster on the field when you activate your Lurie. So the question becomes, should you allow them to even banish your Lurie, or is it still more important to set up Barrel without them thinking that you have the Fiendsmith plays? Baldrake is now banishing our own Engraver. But then we said, never mind, I'm going to use Magna Hut to banish my Engraver. What the heck was that? Did we activate the wrong Bestial? I think so. Moon into Requiem. Requiem summoned from the deck. Okay, I think we were baiting a Bestial. You pretend that you want to summon it, and then the opponent's like, okay, I don't have a Bestial to stop your Bestial. And then, okay, since you can't stop my Bestial, I will then summon my preferred Bestial because I was playing around you having a Bestial. That was the play. All right, so there was no mistake there. It was actually big brain. We're going to return the Moon, summon the Engraver, as we now further go into a sequence. Sequence, Fuse of the Graveyard, going into our Lacrima. Lacrima it up. We're going to add the Banish Engraver, which, you know, a good use of Bestial is on Engraver Engrave, but you can't use it, obviously, if the Engraver's banished. Lordy Load summoning from the deck our Angel Trumpeteer into Baron de Fleur here. Nicky Boy is not playing Trumpeteer. Nicky Boy is instead playing Psyframe Driver and playing with White Dustin, where Zeus is on the Trumpeteer plus the Dippity. What are the better normal monsters here? We have Drill Beam to negate and banish anything. We have Baron de Fleur to negate anything. We have Little Knight to chain banish. We have Druistorm and Baldrake to banish, and then Baldrake could tribute to banish an extra deck monster, and then Druistorm could send a monster from the field to the graveyard. The ceiling is 7, but it's like mostly just 3. It's like 3 to 7 disruption. It's padded. It's inflated. It's not really a true 7 disruption. In the most perfect circumstances, we'll disrupt 7 times. It's not going to happen, though. Let's discard the Lurie. Lurie activates to Reborn. We can't Bestial that. Drill Beam, banish away the Lurie. As our Drill Beam is going to Drill Beam the beam. And we're going to negate the negate. Not today, mate. There we go. Drill Beam, Baron to floor. We then have Little Knight plus our Bystials. The Magna Hut is attempting to banish the Engraver, which it will successfully do so. The Primate Roar is only going to summon if you have no monsters, so you want to summon your Dustin before that happens. And it's very important that you don't summon with Primate Roar, then activate Magna Hut. There's a lot of small details here that really matter. If you were to have activated the Primate Roar first because you're like, okay, I need no monsters. Okay, now I want a Magna Hut. Okay, well, now your Magna Hut's not on the field because I chained my Bystial to banish in response to your Magna Hut. So at the same time, we're playing around a Bystial. We Ball Drake banish, and we lost our Little Knights. We're down to 3 potential disruptions here. Requiem cannot be banished by the Ball Drake, and we don't even have another monster to tribute with the Ball Drake. Lacrima Crimson Tear, send an Engraver here. We're gonna Druid Swarm, banish the Engraver, and now we're left with the Druid Swarm Engrave effect and the Ball Drake banish effect. Engraver, returning the White Dustin back on the deck. Come forth. Ball Drake is not activatable yet. It has to be an extra deck monster. So we're going to use the Engraver to send the Ball Drake to the grave. The Lacrima Crimson Tear is going to summon the Sequence here. Okay. Sequence is on the field, just chilling. The Druid Swarm can't really be triggered through our own means, so I'm not going to count it as a disruption anymore. We're down to none. Come forth, Lacrima. Good job, Nicky Boy, on breaking this field. Engraver, Reborn back as we now go into the Wallow. Wallow's going to be targeting the opposing player's Magna Hut to steal it. Wallow's like a dark as the Magna Hut triggers to grab a dragon during the end phase, which will definitely help us. We're going to M7, return a card in the field back, say goodbye to the Baron to floor. Little Knight, follow up as we now banish a card from the field, saying goodbye to the Druid Swarm. Further turning the M7 into a Typhon. Typhon spin the Sequence away. It is main phase 2, by the way, so it all made sense as we have the Little Knight, a Floodgate of Typhon, and the Ball Drake double banish. Quadra Disruption is the 3 disruption plus a Floodgate. Dippity is here. Dippity into the Requiem. You know what? I don't want to count Typhon as a disruption. I'm just going to say 3. Engraver from the deck. Engraver, wipe out the Little Knight. We just have Ball Drake banish from the graveyard and Ball Drake being able to tribute off the Typhon to banish a monster summon from the extra deck. Let's banish away the Requiem. I believe this deck plays more than 1 Requiem. I think it's at least 2, or should be. Load, summon the Trumpeteer as we summon the Chaos Angel here, which Chaos Angel is not activating to banish because the load states that for the rest of the turn, you cannot activate special summon monsters. But the Chaos Angel is used with the light monster, so it's unaffected by monster effects. All right, there you go. So we couldn't Ball Drake banish it is the main point. And also the Typhon stopped it from activating. That's another thing, another. Return the Engraver back because the Chaos Angel's unaffected. How do we out this? Well, Drill Beam. Easy, right? Well, Drill Beam would not have been activatable if we searched for it right then and there. As we now go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. Moon into the Requiem. Requiem summon from the deck into Lacrima Crimson Tear. Send the Paradise here. As the Engraver returns Moon to summon. I feel like this was all according to plan. Konami wanted Fiendsmith Control to be a top tier deck to sell the freaking Engraver mate. And they could have released the Lacrima early, but instead they got everyone to buy and play Blue Eyes. And then after you all had your fun with Blue Eyes, they then released Lacrima plus the Engraver mate for this to be a top tier deck at 7,000 freaking attack, 3,500 damage, lethal damage, 2-0. Wow. I feel like if any deck for fun could make the best use out of the Rextremde, it would be this deck. Not for competitive reasons, but for fun. I want to play this with Rextremde. All right, Wedgie Temple, put Fool Lost into the back row potentially, or we have Diablo Star instead. We have Ogre pop in the Senjin, so it's not going to summon in Search. Good use there. As we have the original Sinful now ready for the follow-up. Send the Snake Eye Diablo Star into the Snake Eye Ash. We have Imperm, Negate. Now Fool Loss will turn into a Moon of the Closed Heaven, obviously not animating on its normal summon, unfortunately. First, we're going to go into a Linkuriboh, as we now. So, what I keep saying, the deck is 3 decks. You negated Snake Eye, congratulations. You negated Millennium, great. But did you forget about Fiendsmith? Because you don't have a 3rd hand trap for that, you now potentially lose. That's it, 3 decks in 1. So, how do we stop this? Draw Max C, use Fool Loss. That's it. There you go. Or have 3 hand traps. Those are the 2 options. 3 hand traps or Max C / Fool Loss. But Fool Loss is not being used as much because of Blue Eyes, which is the perfect moment to now whip out Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Let's speed this up. What are our disruptions? Ooh, off the top of the deck, one of the best counters to the Apollo is an Impermanence. No hesitation, negate that triple monster negate, now down to 0. Instead, we do have the Masquerena double banish. We have Promethean Princess pop on summon, special summon that is. So from 6 disruptions after 2 hand traps, we now are down to 3 as the 3rd hand trap is here. We did have 3 hand traps, we just had to wait. Rising Scale banishing from our hand, Punk Seaman as the Rising Scale summons the deck, our Seaman, and then for some reason it doesn't activate on summon because I guess the card is not new enough, as we are going to be using the Fire Monster to be targeted with the Promethean to then link it off with Masquerena. As you are now gone, we do have the Little Knight double banish play. Banish number 1, say goodbye to the Rising Scale. And Shirakusai now has nothing to fuse with. Do you understand that with our 3 hand traps, the later drawn Imperm, that the rest of our hand was pretty good? And it still wasn't enough? What? How? Ooh, what do we have here? Ogre and Ash and Nibiru. Punk Seaman searching for the Rising Scale, banishing the Seaman from the hand, come forth and summon. On summon, we're going to summon for the deck a Wagon. Wagon's going to be grabbing the field spell here. Ideally, Ash is used on the Rising Carp, summoning from the deck, but we could easily set up a disruption to play through that Ash. We're going to be reborning the Rising Scale. Oh, we got Nibiru though. Oopsie. So the problem, Ash negate the Max C, as Nibiru isn't draw 1, it's draw 2. Negate, Pot of Greed, thank you very much, as we now wipe out the field. We could play through this if we had another Punk in hand, because we could banish from Engrave, summon Shirakusai, fuse with the other Punk in hand, and then super pop off from there. But there's also an Ogre to stop the field spell, even if we had that play. Damn. We're going to try. Ogre's going to pop you. So your 3 hand traps delete me. My 3 hand traps were not enough for you. Now, technically, we had 2 hand traps plus using the 3rd as a board breaker. We just have Imperm, pass. Poplar on summon. We're desperate. We got to do it. Well, thanks to Lacrima, Moon of the Closed Heaven with no additional monsters is super full combo. We also have the Wedgie Temple. So we have the Millennium part of our deck plus the Fiendsmith part of our deck. We negated the Snake Eye part of your deck, and then the 2 other parts of your deck now crush us. 2-0. Damn, Punk. Oh my Jesus. This is interesting. We have Snake Eye, Fiendsmith with the new Lacrima Crimson Tier versus Fiendsmith Control with the new Lacrima Crimson Tier. Both of them are using it. Both of them are abusing it in the grand finale. Is Fiendsmith Control possibly the new best deck until Ryzeal or Malice comes out? A format like this did not exist in the TCG nor in the OCG. This is exclusive to Master Duel, where we are in this weird period of having full power Fiendsmith, full power Blue Eyes, no Malice, no Ryzeal. What the hell is going on? Well, let's find out in the grand finale. Begin. Primite is going to be setting up the Lordy Load here. Essentially, it's 3 decks versus 3 decks. You have Snake Eye versus Bestial, Fiendsmith versus Fiendsmith, Millennium versus Primite. 3-on-3. This is a team tournament, yes? We're going to be negating the Lordy Load from searching for a Drill Beam as we then summon a Psyframe Driver from the deck to turn it into an I'm Duck, which is now a Dragon, as we now can make a Hieratic Seal to spin a face-up card back. This will be great against the Millennium portion of the deck, as it will stop the search and the summon. And all 3 decks are in our hand here, which we need 3 disruptions for each part here. So we have 1 for Millennium. We have Ogre, and then we have Veiler, we have Nibiru. If you pair up a Negate with Nibiru, then you don't really have to wait for an ideal moment to Nibiru before they set up a disruption to stop your Nibiru. You could almost, in most cases, just wait for when they're done, and then you're going to Nibiru chain Veiler or Veiler on resolution, then use Nibiru. That is a bit safer in most cases, so you don't lose both your hand traps to a called by potentially, plus their Negate on field. Are you ready? This is going to be a spicy one. Quadra Disruption against Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Draw off the top of the deck. We're going to start off with Engravers. I think a good question would have already been, what do I start with? I mean, we have a public out to the Millennium cards, so let's maybe try to bait them to use Hieratic Seal first. We don't want to give them ideal disruption. Let's bait. And we're not baiting with our normal summon, so we're going to keep that a mystery. Come forth, Requiem. Requiem jumping off, summon from the deck into a Crimson Tear. Crimson Tear sending Graver here. To battle we go to force the unoptimal use of Hieratic Seal, which is going to say, I ain't touching that Crimson Tear. I'm going to return my own load back, which you negated last turn. As the Magna Hut searches for a dragon in the end phase, we have 3 more forms of Disrupt. The Ogre is an out to an Apollo, negating Nibiru. And the Veiler is an out to Caesar, negating the Nibiru. You could also use Veiler against Apollo. Let's Lacrima, Reborn onto the field. This is going to be so nice to see. Nibiru plus Veiler onto the Caesar. Ain't no way. Nicky Boy is sitting back, waiting for a full field. Here's the thing though, if you wait for them to fully commit to the entire field before making your Nibiru play, they're gonna have an engraved Promethean Princess, they'll have Divine Temple, plus a Masquerade in the back row, maybe a Fire Monster set up. Will Nibiru completely shut off the Promethean? Will they then at least have the Masquerade to summon from the back row off the Divine Temple to then go into a double Little Knight Banish? So maybe there is a better point at which Nicky Boy should use the Nibiru instead of the absolute end. Apollo, whoa. Veiler for Caesar, and then, I mean, only one of them can negate the Nibiru. But now you can't Veiler, resolve, then Nibiru. You have to Nibiru, then they chain, then you chain the negate. But then Apollo negates the negate onto the Caesar. So ideally you Caesar Nibiru, they then Veiler the Caesar, you then Apollo the Veiler, you then Ogre the Apollo. Wow, it's all there. And Melito almost made the perfect field. If this were made with Masquerina instead of being 2400, being 1600, it would have been checkmate, right? Masquerina protected by Ogre, Caesar negate Nibiru, Apollo negate Veiler, and then the Ogre's dead. We got to think about these things. Because now that I think that's going to cost us. Summon from the deck an Ash. Ash add the Oak. I would speed this up, but we got the bomb coming right now. As we said, Caesar attempts to negate the Nibiru. Veiler negate the Caesar. Apollo negate the Veiler. As the Ogre then destroys the non-Masquerina summoned Apollo USA, and only because of the Ogre do all the domino pieces fall. No negate, negate, negated. Wipe the field. We didn't even use our Millennium cards yet. Uh-oh. Nibiru, wait, we did Millennium already? Okay, we did. I'm incorrect. I'm out of my mind. We did, my bad. But we still have Doom Dragon, plus the Wedgie Temple. Doom Dragon pushed the Nibiru back, and the turn. This was good. I don't see Promethean Princess. I don't see Flameburge. I don't see a Divine Temple set up. You know, we did this right. They got 0 disruption. Public disruption, it's gone. It's nothing. We do have just roll. Would Melito have just won this all if we made a Masquerena instead? But then if we saw Masquerena summoned, would we have Nibiru'd early? Droll on the ad of the Drill Beam. Drill Beam activatable by revealing the barrel. Banish away the Doom Dragon. Recycle the Drill Beam by resetting it back into our back row. We have Primate Roar to be used during the opponent's turn here. And we have the Lordy Load starting from the deck. Our White Dustin. Typhon is actually good in this deck. It's the Typhon deck. You have Typhon backed up with a ton of hand traps plus other forms of disruption. Very nicely done. Primate Roar declaring White Dustin here, as it's now going to be a form of disruption thanks to the Psyframe driver. If they normal summon, we could banish it. If they do something we don't like, we could Drill Beam, negate, and banish it. If they activate something that we don't like, we'll then Ogre it. Triple disruption. White Dustin cannot be destroyed by battle, thanks to the Primate Roar. As the Primate Roar is activating to banish the Snake Eye Oak. Banish. Link Karibo is going to dodge the banish, keeping Oak and Grave, to further later be reborn back with maybe a Promethean Princess. What? This doesn't target? Your opponent normal summons. You then non-target banish a monster on the field. Not even... So when you special summon, the Promethean activates to target the monster you want to destroy. This is on normal summon, and you're targeting your normal monster to then non-target banish any monster on the field with less attack than the Psyframe driver. And if you don't have a Bestial to banish the Psyframe driver, then you're in trouble. That's what we needed. Wow. Flameburge Dragon from the deck here, and it's now banished. We only have 1 copy of Flameburge. It's gone. Well, Nicky Boy's clapping. What is going on? Is this deck really that good? Is this the new tier 1 thanks to Lacrima Crimson Tier? That's what I'm thinking. Say goodbye to Link Karibo. Just absolute decimation. Lethal damage. Wow. This is something. Discard Diablo-Star, come forth. As we set up into the back row, we did not use our Psyframe Gear Gamma, by the way. We're holding on to that. We're going to use Maxi in response to the original Sinful. I think the Gamma in our mind has been saved for Ash. I'm going to Gamma your Ash if you try to negate my Maxi. Then I'll use Gamma on something else once I securely save my Max C from your Ash. We're going to summon the driver from the deck here, wipe away the Ash. Bro, where is the rest of your deck? Where's the Fiendsmith? Where is the Millennium cards? Hello? What the heck? And what's insane about this is we had a Fiendsmith play. The Fiendsmith play was normal summon alongside the negated Snake Eye Ash, Moon, Requiem, pop off from there, but because it was specifically Gamma, Gamma got rid of that second body, making the Moon of the Closed Heaven not possible. Right? The Ash was summoned for the deck. Holy moly. But, you know, we have 3 hand traps here. Max, Ogre, and Droll. Barrel's going to set up the Primate Roar. I'm conflicted here with... if we continue to play Nibiru in this deck, it destroys every other deck besides the mirror match. But if this deck becomes more popular, then you don't want to play Nibiru for the mirror match, which then the overall power of this deck then goes down against other decks because they're no longer playing Nibiru because of the mirror match. It's just normal Yu-Gi-Oh! That's just what happens. We have Ogre, Poppin, the load, attempting to summon a White Dustin from the deck, which at the moment, the Drill Beam is not activatable. And in order to use the Primate Roar, we need to have no bodies on the field, which we're about to have no body on the field if we use the effect of Requiem, then chain the Primate Roar, which we'll do during the opponent's turn. So you think the Drill Beam is dead, but this is actually a field of how much disruption? Roar into Psyframe. Roar on normal summon's going to banish a less than 2,500. Drill Beam with the Psyframe will then be able to banish a negate. The Requiem into Lacrima Crimson Tear will send the Paradise, which will then send a card to the grave on special summon. So we have a trigger on your normal summon to get rid of a card, and we have a trigger on your special summon to get rid of a card, and then we have Nibiru, and then we have Max C. So this is 4 disruptions plus a Max C. It really does not look like it, but it is. We're not ready for the special summon trigger here because the Requiem must activate in the main phase. Otherwise, we would have draw phased summoned. Did we forget to roar? Am I right? Aren't you supposed to chain roar to your Requiem? What happened? The driver's banished, so the roar, oh shoot. It got banished. Well, if we played another normal monster, maybe a Summoned Skull, this would have been a 4th form of disruption, which it's not. And because it summons a normal monster, where's it summoned from? The normal monster is a Garnet. The fact that we have no normal monster in the deck means the Roar is not a disruption, the Drill Beam is not a disruption, because we can't get the normal monster on the field. We just have a Nibiru and a Paradise instead. Wow. No normal monster in sight. That is a huge issue. Time to play a 3rd normal monster in your deck. A 3rd normal would have been more disruptions. We have Oak on summon to reborn the Ash, chain the Max C to the Oak reborning here. All right. And now we have Valor, so 3 disruption. Drone Lockbird ourselves, as I said. Punk and Snake Eye Fiendsmith are 2 decks that are really good at using Droll against themselves. Linkuriboh on summon will trigger the Paradise to send. This will get White Dustin back in the deck if we wanted to then use the Primate Roar, but then to use the Primate Roar, you would have to have no monster in the field, and the Primate Roar in-grave effect is only good if you have a monster as big as Psyframe Driver in the grave to even use it on. We're going to use Nibiru onto the Little Knight, just like that. Banish, or no Banish, we're just going to tribute. We didn't chain the Little Knight play as we were trying to banish the White Dustin away. We didn't want the Lacrima to add back during the end phase. We have Lacrima still summoning the Requiem as we did that play, getting the Requiem out during the previous turn. Requiem is going to summon from the deck another copy of, or the same copy of Lacrima because it was returned back in the deck, as we are going to be returning back the Desiree to summon our Engraver here. We're now going to Requiem, equip onto the Engraver, send the 1200 defense token to the graveyard you go. 6,000 damage in the field is not enough for lethal alongside Lacrima Burn. We want to at least deal 6,200, then we have game. 66, that's enough, that's game. Add White Dustin, make the Drill Beam activatable, swing for 66. Do we just, oh, we don't even bother, right? We know. Well, okay, sure. Nice try. We're gonna allow that. In case you were to summon a Bestial, we would want to banish it. And then Ignumde is here. Trigger Lacrima, burn for 1,200 damage for game. Ooh, oh boy. This is the new top tier. Meta Weekly on a Friday, ain't no way. The new pack is here, and Fiendsmith is top tier. We're gonna be calling this Fiendsmith Control on the website to, you know, make it more obvious that you're not thinking it's the Fiendsmith engine that's dominating everything. It's actually its own deck type doing incredibly well. Possibly the new best deck until the Ryzeal and Malice come out. Now, why did Snake Eye Fiendsmith go up in value alongside Fiendsmith? It's all because of Lacrima Crimson Tear. So, as I promised, with Lacrima Crimson Tear, Malice, or Ryzeal, that the power of Blue Eyes would be going down. Now, of course, we need more tournaments to get the full picture here. And let's keep on going. Let's see what's good. Let's start this off with Dark Magician, randomly making it into the top cut. 60-card deck, King Mod. Here is the main deck, and then here is the extra deck. Surprisingly, not playing any of the new Fiendsmith cards. Good job. And then we have Valmonica. Clift Wary is in fact using the brand new Lacrima Crimson Tears. So many different rogue decks now open up to being much more playable thanks to Lacrima. I'm excited to play Unchained with her. I also want to play Evil Eye with her. It's going to be a good time. And then here is the extra deck for the Valmonica. What else we have? Rescue Ace. Funky Nader. 60 cards. Ain't no way. We have Azamina with the new Lacrima Crimson Tier. Let's check this out here. There is the extra deck. Nicely done. What else we have? Man, it sucks that Kieran got unlimited and there's no Kieran today. Tenpai making a return. Not really though. Good job, Matrao. 40 cards clean. Tenpai, top tier in his hands, but likely not in yours. So you may want to stay away. Good job, Matrao. Adamantipator JL. More like JW with this deck. And we are not teching in the Fiendsmith cards, even though they do have a line with any way to go into a Requiem. It could make a Granite, but I trust that this is the better way to play the deck. So good job to that. Nicely done. What else? We have, we have Fiendsmith control and Bestial control. I'm going to add control to Bestial, and this would mean it's not playing Fiendsmith. Yeah. Okay. Snowy. You just had to complicate things, huh? We couldn't all just be under a happy umbrella of Fiendsmith control. You had to duel with this. Good job, Snowy. No Fiendsmith in sight. And then we have tier limits. Honcho tier with the Rextremde play. Ain't no way. Honcho randomly milling the Kiri trap to then go into the Rextremde, unaffected by all card effects, as you could fuse with it with this. Very nicely done. Good job. Happy to see that. Here's the extra deck. The deck definitely suffered from Beatrice getting banned, but maybe we're back, or this is just the case of Lacrima could make any deck good. I mean, Valmonica is in the top because of Lacrima. What else? One Blue Eyes. Poor little Blue Eyes. Unfortunately, not making use of the new Lacrima tiers as every other deck became better. This deck stayed in the same spot. Good job, Rixia, representing the deck. We got Bingo up in here. I further worry about Blue Eyes. They did get Lightstorm Dragon, which was not enough to boost the deck, obviously. I worry for Blue Eyes because of Fiendsmith control playing so many Bestials, and that's just generally going to be an issue. What else do we have? Mermail Atlantean. Psychic is playing the Deep Sea King, but when I saw you searching the Ice Jade Ran instead, so I guess you go for either or. You add the Ice Jade Ran or you summon the Deep Sea onto the field. Very nice. Psychic, 53 cards. What a mad lad. And also making use of the Ice Barrier cards. That's wild. Lancia, top tier, in your hands here. Good job. And you know what I don't see? Where's your Barrier statue? I was promising everyone that this deck would be so incredibly toxic with summoning Barrier Statue on turn 1, and you said, nah, you don't play that way. All right, I commend you for it. We are now going into Memento. Abdullah, not playing pure Memento, instead playing Fiendsmith, which is going to be greatly increasing your hand trap resilience within this deck. And also, if you don't open up any Memento play, we saw the way with Abdullah bridging from Fiendsmith cards into the Memento cards through the power of Aerial Eater and Cross-Shape Reborning whatever you send from the deck to the grave with Aerial Eater. Good job. Branded. Abo, Mod, Branded. Same way, same play, nothing crazy. Well done. And before anyone tries to recommend him to make branded Fiendsmith work, We can't link before Brain Infusion. Just can't. Don't do it. Don't try it. We are going to now whip out the Punk. What the Punk as Murasaki. Very nicely done. Happy to see this. We got the Jam Fever. There was another card that could have come out to help this deck. If you're looking towards a future with Punk, if you already like the deck, then great, because the level 11 Synchro is coming. During your opponent's turn, destroy all face-up monsters they control or destroy all face-up spell and traps. That's pretty cool. Does tribute itself to in order to do so. What else? Where were we? We now have the Snake Eye Fiendsmith Mad Lads going. We got second place here. Just one Fool loss. Here's the extra deck. So good job, Melito. And then we have SAEMGH. No Fool loss in sight. Got the Chorozo in the extra deck here. Banshee. Oh my Jesus. Okay. Good job. Well done. And then, likely the new top tier. This deck already won last week's tournament, but it just became way better. Fiendsmith Control. We're going to start off with Zeus's deck. 40 cards clean, double Nibiru. If this deck becomes too popular, I think Nibiru will start being dropped. But as long as you're playing against other decks, Nibiru, I will say, is probably the best to have in the deck. And then here is the extra deck. We do have the Ignum Day, of course. Got the Crazy Beast play. Well done. And then we have Nicky Boy with the win. Nicky Boy, anything out of this world here. Their normal monster choices are a bit different. So if we were to focus on that, the Trumpeteer is allowing you to go into a Baron de Flor. And the Dippity, being a level 4, and a Light Fiend, as same thing with the White Dustin, it could go into the Requiem, but Dippity can also go into a Chaos Angel much more easily. Where the Dustin, I don't know what Dustin does better than Dippity. Does anyone know? Help me out. Why? I think Dustin is just outdated, or maybe you like the art better. Psyframe Driver being bigger than the Trumpeteer and allowing you to use Gamma. And, because it's so big, it allows you to use the Primate Roar on a bigger normal summon. Even though 1800 or less should pretty much cover every normal summon anyway, right? Dustin's easier to get because it's normal? What are you talking about? The rarity? You think the rarity was taken into consideration for the tournament? No way. Gamma? What about Dustin and Gamma? What are you talking about? Okay. All right. And there you go. Top deck, winning the whole event. Nicky Boy, well done. Let's get to it. Let's do it. I'm excited for the next Meta Weekly and other community events to see how Fiendsmith Control shapes up to possibly be the new best deck until we get the newer cards. We'll be leaking on twitch.tv/Decade over the next few streams on Sunday. This Sunday, immediately after this event, we're not going to be streaming, but afterward, every Sunday from here on out after that will be leaks. Thank you very much. Let's go.